in a lot of American schools, colleges, wrestling seems to be kind of being a dying sport. What do you think we need to do to kind of change all of that?
Well, it's just marketing. That's all it is. It's hype and excitement. Why are we tuning in? Fighting is the same way. You know, people don't just tune in to see a fight. That's not true. They've got to know why they're tuning in. They got to know what the build-up is. Why are these two competing? Now, there's always a reason, but it's the job of, if you put it, wrestling, to put those reasons forward. If you've got, take my home state, if you've got Oregon taking on Oregon State, you need to make sure you explain to the fans the history of these two schools, why this is important, why an in-state rivalry is the biggest match of the year, and then people will come. But just because you roll out a wrestling match, you put a referee out there with a whistle, that's not a good enough reason. Wrestling should be dying in this country because they've done a horrible job. They can resurrect it, but they haven't taken any steps in the right direction. None. It is atrocious how bad they do at marketing. It should die. I don't want it to, but that's the job that they do. There's no entity that survives being mismanaged, and wrestling is horribly mismanaged.
Mr. Sonnen, what are your thoughts on, the state of amateur MMA, amateur mixed martial arts?
Well, I'm the authority in the country for amateur MMA. I legalized it in the state of Oregon. Oregon was the first recognized athletic commission in the union, the entire nation, to regulate amateurs. My amateur show, or the amateur show that I work with, we produce 13 UFC fighters, including a UFC judge, a UFC referee, and a UFC timekeeper. So, we train judges, we have classes, we train referees, we have courses on this, and we find talent and bring them up. It's the only amateur show in the country that's televised, and it should be. It's the only one that does it right.
What do people need to do to, kind of follow your example? How can we find out more about, or how can promoters find out what you've been doing so you can hopefully they can follow in your footsteps?
Well, one, they could call and ask. They could go to the website and get information, thefcff.com, as in Full Contact Fighting Federation, thefcff.com. But, promoters, for the most part, are a pretty shady bunch. They're about one step above a hooker off the street. So, if you get a promoter who's a decent guy, he's going to go out and do a good job. They're few and far between. That's just the industry that we're in. So, you deal with a lot of fly-by-night guys that are in there to make a quick buck, that don't understand business, longevity, or doing what's right by the sport.